morning, students. As we have discussed in the previous class about total internal reflection, today we'll discuss about the effect of total internal reflection. And we'll discuss today firstly about the formation of mirrors and how mirrors form. And before starting today's lectures, let me give you some clarification. In some lines of today's lecture, I wrote as angle of incident. I wrote, so you please make it clear, this is not incident, it should be angle of incidence. It is angle of incidence, right? I am just giving clarification. And one word I wrote, that is your denser. Like that I wrote, you please make it correct, it should be denser. It should be denser. So these two words you correct fast before starting today's class. As I told you, today we'll discuss about the mirage formation, how mirage is formed. You know, basically mirage is formed in the desert. So you please read the headlines, the formation of mirage. Formation of mirage. Formation of mirage. That is today's topic, how mirage is formed. That we'll discuss. Mirage is formed basically in desert, and it happens due to the total internal reflection. We found what happened in case of total internal reflection, that for it, light should traveling from denser medium to rare medium. That is first thing. Second thing, the angle of incidence should be greater than critical angle. So if I consider the condition of a desert like that, suppose this is the boundary, this is the boundary I have considered, and which is, suppose it is the bottom layer of a mirrors of a desert. Now in this case, here I am keeping an objects in the form of a tree. You can consider, suppose it is the object that is in the desert. Suppose it is a tree. I have considered somewhere like that. It is a tree. Now in the daytime, in desert, what happens? The bottom part, the bottom layer of the desert is very warm, is very hot. That means once it is the warmer, so there we will find a denser medium we can consider. And as you go above from the bottom of the desert, you will find a cold situation in comparison to the bottom situation. That means as you go higher up in the order, then you will feel that the upper layer of the desert is cold or cooler in comparison to the bottom layer. So in bottom layer we can find the denser medium. Why? Because the bottom layer is warmer, and the top layer will be comparatively your cooler. That is why the top layer will be your denser medium. That means top layer of the desert will be your denser medium, and the bottom layer of the desert will be your rarer medium. I have told why it happens. Now suppose it is the tree I have considered, and there is the sun, and this is the sun, from where the ray of light will fall to the trees. Once the ray of light will fall to the trees, it will reflect. Okay, and when it reflects, it will enter from denser medium to rarer medium. So I can write the above top layer will be denser medium. Why it is denser medium, I have told you. And the bottom layer will be your rarer medium. We have discussed why it is rarer medium. Now as you go up layer by layer, if I represent them different layers like that, suppose these are different layers and you are going up layer by layer, as you go up in the order from the bottom of the desert, you will feel cooler in comparison to the bottom level. So this is how you are going up and up by the order. And you consider, suppose here somewhere is the observer, and here somewhere is the observer who is observing this particular trees. This is the observer I am giving you. This is the observer. This is observer. And this is the object. So you can, well, I'll imagine the situation now. Now first thing will happen, that the ray of light will coming from the sun like that. That the ray of light coming from the sun, and it will strike the trees or not. Okay, the ray of light coming from the sun and striking to the trees. After striking the trees, what will happen? Eventually it will reflect. So once it will reflect, so it will enter from denser to rarer medium or not. Gradually it will start coming to this particular direction. As this is ray of light coming from the sun and striking to this particular tree or object, what will happen? It will reflect. As it will reflect, it will start coming from denser to rarer medium. We know what are the possible things happens when a ray of light enters from denser to rarer medium. The ray of light goes away from the normal. Understand? So if I make here the normal, it will be easy to demonstrate these things. So the refracted ray will go away from the normal like that. As you can see here, this ray is going away from the normal. So this is going to be what? Angle of incidence, and this is angle of refraction. Similarly, when it will enter from this layer to this layer, again the ray of light will bend away from the normal. So it will be like that. Okay, so that is how the ray of light entering by layer like that. In both the case, it is varying from denser to rarer medium. So ray of light is bending gradually from normal. At one point, as we know that when the angle of incidence will become greater than critical angle, once this angle of incidence, when this angle of incidence will become greater angle of incidence, once this angle of incidence, in this case, it will become greater than critical angle. So once angle of incidence become greater than critical angle, so it will be go back to the same medium from where it came, as we have studied all this thing. That is how it will reflect back, or it will go away to the same medium. Understand now? So this is due to total internal reflection. This case will be possible once angle of incidence is greater than critical angle. So that is how the ray will go to the observer's eye. And once observer will see from here, suppose this is the observer, this is observer. Once observer will see, he will see like that straight away, and he will see an apparent image of this particular tree. Okay, he will see an apparent image of this particular tree. That is how he will see the apparent image. That means once the total internal reflection will happen, so this will go back to the same medium, and observer will see an apparent image of this particular object. And this apparent image, or this inverted image, this apparent image will create an optical illusion to the observer's eye. Am I clear? This apparent image will create an optical illusion to the observer's eye, and he will feel that there's some water or like that, and he will see this object, it is like that, and he will feel the object is presenting like that, or he will feel that there's some water instead of this particular object. This is simply formation of mirrors, and that is how mirrors form in the desert. The first thing for the formation of mirrors, the light should traveling from denser to rarer medium. Second thing, angle of incidence should be greater than critical angle. Then only mirage is formed. And things regarding this rare medium, why this is rare medium, because in the daytime the bottom portion of the dessert remains warmer. That's how, as it becomes warms, so the molecules available in this particular layer will be light. So as they become hot, so this medium will be your rare medium. And as you go up, you'll feel cold, or it will be the cooler in comparison to the rare medium. So the above part of the dessert will be denser medium, and bottom part will be rare medium. So like that, the ray of light will strike to the tree, and once it will reflect, strike the trees, it will reflect, and once it reflects, it will start entering from denser to rare medium. That is how, in a certain point, this ray will go back to the same medium. That is how total interreflection will take place, and the observer will see an apparent image of the real object, and this apparent image will create some optical illusion to the observer's eye, and he will feel that there is some water like that. That is the function of mirrors. In the next class, we will discuss prism and your optical fiber, how the total internal reflection takes place. Thank you so much.